Okay, so we're all here because, well, let's face it, we've all been there. That feeling of, ugh, I really need to do that, but you know what I'm talking about, procrastination.
We're going deep on this one, really deep.
That's right, we're diving into overcoming procrastination, practical tips for action. This guide promises not just to tell us why we procrastinate, but actually how to stop doing it.
It's like having a personal productivity coach right there in your pocket.
I love that, a coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
But before we get to those solutions, let's define the problem. What even is procrastination? I mean, it's more than just being lazy, right?
Oh, absolutely. The source we're looking at defines it as, while delaying or postponing tasks even when you know it can have negative consequences.
Okay, so it's like when you know you should be working on that big presentation, but suddenly cleaning out your junk drawer feels super important.
Yeah. Perfect example of active procrastination. Basically, you choose to do something else instead of the thing you need to. But there's also what's called passive procrastination.
Okay, so what's that then?
Passive is more about just avoiding the task altogether, just not even starting.
So it's not just me who feels the urge to, alphabetize my spice rack when I have a deadline.
Not at all. Happens to the best of us. Both types are super common.
So, okay, we get it. Procrastination happens. But why? Why do we do this to ourselves?
Well, our source actually lists a whole bunch of reasons, but I think two of the most interesting or maybe sneaky ones are fear of failure and perfectionism. They kind of go hand in hand.
So it's not really about laziness. It's more like being scared to mess up.
Exactly. Or not meeting some crazy, impossible standard we've set for ourselves. Think about it. Have you ever put off applying for a dream job or, I don't know, starting a creative project just because you were afraid of not being good enough?
Oh, yeah, totally. What if I'm not good enough? What if everyone hates it?
Right. And perfectionism can make any task feel just totally overwhelming. So then we're like, nope, better just put that off forever.
Yeah, you get stuck in that, what do they call it? Analysis paralysis.
Right.
You can't take action because you're so focused on everything being perfect.
And that's where those negative consequences come in, right? Because
Yeah.
the longer we put it off, the more the stress and anxiety just builds up.
Okay, so we've identified the enemy procrastination.
Yeah.
But how do we actually fight back? Our source has a bunch of practical strategies, so let's break some of those down.
Yeah, let's do it.
They start with a simple one, but I think it's powerful. Breaking tasks down.
Yes. It's amazing how much less intimidating a task becomes when you break it into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of trying to clean your whole house, top to bottom, just start with one room or even just one drawer.
I can definitely see how that would make things seem less overwhelming. It's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Exactly.
So, okay, speaking of small steps, what about that 2-minute rule? I've heard of that one.
Yes. The 2-minute rule. Basically, if something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it right then and there.
So things like, I don't know, answering a quick email, putting away a dish, making your bed.
Exactly. Those little things might not seem like much, but they really add up.
You kind of build momentum, right? Clear your headspace for the bigger tasks.
Exactly. And for those bigger tasks, those ones that definitely take more than 2 minutes, the Pomodoro Technique can be a real game changer.
Okay, yeah, the Pomodoro. This one's a classic. You work in focused intervals, usually 25 minutes, and then you take a short break.
It's a rhythm of work and rest that helps you, stay focused, avoid burnout. I find it way more effective than trying to power through for hours and hours.
I've tried it too, and sometimes, honestly, I adjust those intervals to fit my energy. Maybe 45 minutes of work and then a 15-minute break. It's all about finding what works, right?
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of things that can totally derail our focus, we got to talk about distractions.
Ugh, those pesky distractions. They are everywhere.
The key is knowing what your biggest distraction culprits are and then, actually do something about it. What's your distraction kryptonite?
Honestly, social media, I can get totally lost in that endless scroll. It's terrible.
Well, I hear you. For me, it's email. I could literally spend hours in my inbox, even when I have much more important things I should be doing.
But the good news is, our source has some solutions for us. They recommend using apps like Freedom or Focus at Will to block those distractions and create a more focused work environment.
Right. And they also talk about the importance of, having a dedicated workspace, even if it's just a corner of your room, a place you go and, okay, I'm here to focus.
Love that.
Yeah.
So we've talked about breaking down tasks, tackling distractions, and working in focused intervals. But what about those times when motivation is just gone.
Ah, yes. The motivation slump. Well, that's where rewards and accountability come in. Sometimes we need a little extra incentive, right?
I'm all about celebrating those wins, even the small ones.
Exactly. So, set a reward for yourself. It could be something small, like you get to watch your favorite show, or, I don't know, take a relaxing bath.
Treat yourself.
Exactly. And don't underestimate accountability either. Telling a friend about your goals or finding an accountability buddy, that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, like a built-in cheerleader. Someone
Yeah.
to keep you on track.
Exactly. And speaking of getting your mind in the right place, let's talk about visualization.
Okay, visualization.
It's a really powerful tool for shifting your mindset from, avoidance to action.
So what, like close your eyes and picture yourself doing the thing?
Yeah. Take a moment, close your eyes, and really imagine yourself successfully completing that task you've been putting off. Feel that sense of accomplishment, that relief, the pride.
Yeah, you can almost taste it, right? That feeling of, I did it.
Exactly. Visualizing success can make it feel, more real, more achievable, less daunting.
Okay, I am definitely going to try that. I love that. So we have covered so much ground already in this first part of our deep dive into procrastination. But remember, this is just the beginning. We will be back in part 2 to explore how to build those long-term habits that will make procrastination, well, a thing of the past.
Stay tuned, because the journey to productivity is just getting started.
Welcome back to our deep dive into, well, conquering procrastination.
That's right. We're back for more.
In part 1, we really got into the why. Why do we procrastinate? And we also uncovered some pretty cool strategies to tackle those tasks we've been putting off.
We talked about breaking things down, the 2-minute rule, that Pomodoro technique, and even the power of just visualizing yourself doing the thing.
It was awesome. But now I think it's time to level up.
Level up.
Yeah. Let's talk about something even more powerful. Building those anti-procrastination habits, like the kind of habits that will really, truly transform our lives.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Transforming our lives, because let's be honest, we don't just want to win a few battles against procrastination.
Right. We want to win the entire war.
Exactly. And the key to that victory, well, it lies in the power of routines.
Okay, routines. Tell me more.
Routines are procrastination's kryptonite. They create structure, predictability, and that can actually reduce decision fatigue and help us stay on track.
Okay, so instead of wasting mental energy debating whether to work out or watch TV, you just follow your routine and get it done.
Precisely. Even small changes to your routine can make a huge difference. For example, I used to struggle with getting my day started. I'd hit the snooze button a million times, scroll through social media, and end up feeling totally rushed and behind.
Oh, I've been there. It's like the morning is a race against the clock.
Exactly. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to try this routine thing. I wake up at the same time every day, make a cup of coffee, do a quick meditation, and then review my to-do list.
Wait, meditation? I've always wanted to try that, but I could never, stick with it.
It's been a game changer for me. It helps me, just clear my head, focus, start the day feeling calm and centered. But you're right, it definitely took some discipline to make it a habit.
Speaking of discipline, I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about it.
Yeah.
They think it's this magical quality that some people just have and others don't.
Oh yeah, it's total myth. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's a skill. And just like any skill, it's built over time. And the best way to cultivate discipline is, start small.
So instead of aiming to become like a productivity superhero overnight,
Yeah.
we should focus on those small wins, just doing them consistently.
Exactly. Those small wins, they boost your confidence, build momentum, and then gradually, discipline just becomes a natural part of your life.
I'm all about setting myself little discipline challenges. Like a while back, I decided to give up sugar for a month.
Whoa, a whole month? How did that go?
It was rough at first, but I stuck with it. And you know what? Eventually those sugar cravings just faded. And it taught me that, hey, I'm stronger than I thought. I could achieve anything I set my mind to.
I love that. That's such a great example. It shows how these, even small acts of discipline can have a ripple effect. It can impact other areas of your life too.
Totally. But it's important to remember though, right, that this whole building anti-procrastination habits thing, it's a journey. It's not like you just do it once and you're done.
So true. It's not a one-time fix. It's a process, continuous improvement.
So basically we need to become procrastination detectives, constantly analyzing our habits and figuring out what works.
Precisely. And here's, I don't know, like a little reflection question to get you started. What's one thing you've been, consistently procrastinating on, and why?
Ooh, good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But I think the takeaway here is that ultimately procrastination is beatable.
Absolutely. And with the right tools, the right mindset, you can break free and achieve, well, anything you set your mind to. But there's one more crucial piece to this puzzle.
Oh, what's that?
The power of mindset and motivation. It's a big one.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Stay tuned for part 3, everyone, where we'll explore how our thoughts, our beliefs can either fuel our procrastination or totally propel us toward success. Welcome back, deep divers. Ready for the final part of our epic procrastination journey.
We've come a long way. We've explored the reasons why we procrastinate, right?
Totally. And we even, armed ourselves with all those cool strategies and habit building tools.
But now it's time for, I think, the ultimate weapon.
Ooh, the ultimate weapon. I like the sound of that.
The power of mindset.
Mindset. Okay, tell me more.
Because, even with all the best techniques and strategies in the world, if our minds aren't in the right place, well, procrastination can still sneak back in.
It's I don't know, like having a fully charged phone, but no signal. You're ready to go, but you can't connect.
Exactly. So let's talk about some mindset shifts, some key adjustments we can make to, really supercharge our motivation and help us conquer procrastination for good.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with those mindset shifts.
All right, first up, self-compassion.
Self-compassion. Okay. I know it sounds a little, I don't know, fluffy, but trust me, this is huge.
It is. We tend to beat ourselves up when we procrastinate, right? We call ourselves lazy or undisciplined or failures.
And that just makes you feel worse, right? And then you procrastinate even more, like a vicious cycle.
It is. So instead of, being so hard on yourself, try practicing self-compassion. Just acknowledge that everyone procrastinates sometimes. It's normal. It doesn't make you a bad person.
So it's be a coach instead of a critic.
Exactly. Remind yourself that you're doing your best. And that setbacks, well, they happen. They're a normal part of the process.
Okay. Speaking of setbacks, let's talk about reframing failure. Because, a lot of us are just terrified of not being perfect, and that can really stop us from even starting anything new.
Oh, yeah. Fear of failure is a huge procrastination trigger. But what if, and this is kind of cool, what if we could change how we think about failure?
Okay, yeah, I like where you're going with this. So instead of seeing failure as a weakness, what if we saw it as a learning opportunity?
Exactly. Every time we stumble, we gain valuable insights that can, help us grow.
It's like that Thomas Edison quote, right? I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Love that. Embrace those failures as stepping stones. They're getting you closer to success. And that brings us to another really important shift, focusing on progress over perfection.
Because we can get so caught up in trying to be perfect that we just never even start, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So instead of striving for, that unattainable perfection, celebrate each step you take, even the small ones.
Yeah. Acknowledge your progress. Give yourself credit for the effort.
Exactly. Those small wins, they add up. They fuel your motivation to keep going. And finally, we can't forget about the power of positive self-talk.
Oh, self-talk, yes. Our thoughts have a huge impact on our actions, right?
Absolutely. If we're constantly telling ourselves we're lazy or unproductive, well, guess what? We're probably going to live up to that expectation.
That's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. But if we start, feeding our minds positive affirmations, empowering beliefs, we can, rewire our brains for success.
So instead of saying, I'll never get this done, we say, I'm going to make some progress on this today.
Yes. It's amazing how much our language can influence our actions. So deep divers, as we wrap up this deep dive, remember, overcoming procrastination, it's not just about techniques and habits, right? It's about cultivating self-compassion. It's about embracing those failures as opportunities to learn and grow. It's about focusing on progress, not perfection, and harnessing the power of those positive self-beliefs.
And I think there's a quote for that too, right? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Love it. So true.
So, to all our amazing listeners out there, what's one thing you're going to commit to doing differently this week to combat procrastination? We're all in this together. Until next time, keep diving deep.